Hello all, and today I'm going to do a deck tech video over what I took to SCG States. Everybody had been talking about the meta being control, control, control. So I decided to build a black-white warriors and try to beat the meta. I only went 2 and 5 because apparently everybody decided to beat the meta, and 9/10 of the field that I faced was aggro. Out of 7 games, I faced Abzan aggro 5 times. I'm going to go over my deck, tell you what I think I did right, what I think should be changed, and the basic idea. It's Black-White Warriors based off of 1-drops. I'm running a total of 12 1-drops. I'm running 3 Mardu Shadow Spears. Obviously, drop them, loss of life, and the loss of life triggers when they attack, so you don't actually have to do damage. I'm running 2 Woe Reapers to help gain life. 3 Dragon Hunters. I kind of expected there to be a little bit of a dragon meta going on. So with protection from dragons, they could block dragons all day long. Come on, camera, focus. Okay, don't have to focus that much. Okay, there we go. Dragon Hunters, protection from dragons, can block dragons if they had reach. It's a good solid 1-drop. I thought there might be a dragon deck out there, so I figured this would be a good way to get through dragons and also stop dragons without, it doesn't really work against Atarka with her trample, but against most other dragons it works pretty well. And naturally, Bloodsoaked Champion. I think this is an excellent 1-drop. I know it's not as good as the red 1-drops with haste, but the fact that you can attack for 2, you can bring it back with raid by triggering raid, I think is excellent. I think this is a good 1-drop. I really like this 1-drop. 2 drops. The first 2-drop chosen was Chief of the Edge. I did not run any Chief of the Scales because really, if I get to the late game, I'm kind of in a bad situation. So I ran Chief of the Edges. Since I don't have haste, I can't attack turn 1. So turn 1, I put out a Bloodsoaked Champion or another 2/1. Turn 2, lay down Chief of the Edge. I hit for 3. It was good, solid. It worked a lot. This is one of the things that did work. I dropped a 1-drop and then dropped Chief of the Edge a lot of times. All my matches were really close. I will say this. Other than 1 match out of 7, I went to all 3 games. Several of them, I feel like could have easily gone 5-2, 6-1. And that's what I'm going to talk about, some of the changes that I think I will make. And I'll get to that momentarily. I ran Ultimate Price for removal. I ran Valorous Stances for removal. And I ran a full set of Heroes Downfalls for removal. That's what I ran for removal. I had some more removal in the sideboard to side in and whatnot, but this is my basic deck removal suite. I'll go over my sideboard as well. My 3-drops, Mardu Strike Leader. I like the fact that whenever he attacks, I get a 2/1 warrior token onto the battlefield. I felt this was good. His dash ability wasn't quite as good as I was hoping for, because again, this had more to do with the way the meta worked out. Against control, being able to dash him in would help stay away from board wipes, and that's what I was looking at for him. It puts creatures out on the board, gains my board state, brings them back into my hand, and I can, do it all over again. Although I just have to attack with him. But the fact that, he's can't be board wiped if he's in my hand was something I liked a whole lot. My other 3-drop was Erison's Foremost. This one actually did work out for me a little bit better than originally I thought. I was kind of iffy on it at first, but the fact that I can give another warrior double strike really kind of worked to my advantage. And I got some big hits through. Like I said, I went to game 3 most of the time, and most of those times I had my opponent down to like 5 or less life, and in some instances 1. And then I would either stall out, draw blanks, or whatnot. And I feel that there's certain changes I could have made to avoid that, and I will discuss those as soon as I'm finished going over the rest of my deck. This did work. The one that did not work in the 3-drop slot is Pitiless Horde. I ran 3 of these. I thought at a 3 drop, a 5-3, even at the cost of 2 loss of life during your upkeep, I thought was really good. Also had the dash ability, so I could dash him in turn 4, swing, put him back in my hand. I thought was good. I didn't really see him much, so I can't say he didn't work in the sense that I didn't see him much. But from what I've seen, I didn't think it would work. He seemed to not work as well. So I think I would be replacing him. And what I would thinking about replacing him with is Bloodchin Fanatic. By replacing him with Bloodchin Fanatic, that gives me a late game in the sense that I can pay 1 black and 1 colorless to sacrifice a warrior in order to do loss of life damage equal to, I believe it's the warrior's power. It might be the CMC. I'm not 100% sure. I'd have to get the card and look it up, which I did not do at this point in time. But that loss of life would have won me at least 2 games and thereby 2 matches. True, that would only put me at 4-3, but I know for a fact that having him out instead of a Pitiless Horde in my hand or a Pitiless Horde on the field would have won me 2 matches. So I feel Pitiless Horde definitely fell down. Sorin Solemn Visitor, I only had 2. I ran the 2 I had. This is one card I wish I had more than 2 of. This guy, he did some work for me. I won't lie. He did win me at least 1 match, and he did a lot of work for me. I wish I had 3 or 4 of him in there. I think he's a must for this style of deck. And I think I should have ran 4 of these instead of 2, and that's Brutal Horde Chief. Again, his activated ability of 2 white and 3 colorless. And creatures your opponents control block this turn of Fable, and you choose how those creatures block. Would allow me to, stack them all up on 1 creature or something along that lines. More relevant as far as for what I'm doing is that whenever a creature you control attacks, defending player loses 1 life and you gain 1 life. And that affects for each creature. So if I could have had him in play more often, again, there's that life loss to get through to the middle, to get around the middle game for when I stall out. The biggest thing here is I stalled out in the middle game and late game, and that's really what hurt me. For my mana base, I ran 5 swamps. I only ran 22 mana. 5 plains. I ran 4 Caves of Koilos, and I ran 4 fetches for each color. I ran 4 fetches for black. Obviously, there's not a black-white fetch available in standard. And then I ran 4 fetches, which in this case is 2 Flooded Strands, 2 Windswept Heaths, to fetch my white plains. And they worked pretty well. My fetches worked well. It thinned my deck. Like I said, having something to do damage later would have been a huge help. If the meta wouldn't have changed, I would have been in good shape. But with the meta going, most people going aggro, that kind of hurt. I ran 3 Bloodshin Ragers in my sideboard. It also lets me, make it where creatures can be blocked by but 2 or more creatures, allowing something to get through. He didn't draw. Anytime I sighted him in, I didn't see him. Merciless Executioner. This I think was a good card. I just didn't see him. I think I had a little bit of short-term bad luck. But this gets around, protection or anything like that by making them sacrifice a creature. I sacrifice and they sacrifice. It deals with Storm Breath Dragon if I happen to have a white creature out. A Dragon Hunter's, protection from dragons, but it's also white, and Storm Breath Dragon has protection from white. So by this, I can sack it. They sack their Storm Breath. If that's all they have out, then I can swing next turn with the Merciless Executioner. Or, depending on the way it looks, I sack the Merciless Execution to himself. They sack their Storm Breath, and I get through with my Dragon Hunter. Either way. I had 1 extra Strike Leader. I really think I should have ran 4. He did work for me. I won't say he was a lot of work. But he did work for me. I think he's good. I seriously think I should have probably played 4 and not just 1 on the side. Mogis Marauder, this is the 1 sideboard card I think I should have ran in the main deck. I think having him in the sideboard was a mistake. I think I should have ran him in the main deck. Haste and Intimidate gets through a lot of stuff. and works fairly well. I should have ran at least probably 3 in the main. My late game, which I was never in a position to really use, is I ran 1 extra ultimate price for removal, and it was secure the waste to drop a bunch of tokens into play, and return to the ranks to pretty much do the same. Except for it returns X creature cards from your converted mana cost 2 or less from the graveyard to the battlefield. These are for late games, for when I stall out or against control. I didn't really get a chance to, because when I stalled out, I died in the middle game, so I didn't really get a chance to use them real well. As far as my technical play, I think I played fairly well. I think there probably were a mistake or 2 I made. I can think of at least 1, and so if I can think of 1, there was probably more than 1. But I think for my first big tournament like that, there were 82 people. I did fairly well as far as my technical play goes, and I just stacked my sideboard there. I feel I could have played better, or I feel I could have done better. I feel like all the matches were close, and definitely, if I win my first match, I definitely could have been in a position where I did better. Overall, everybody adjusted, and the meta was different than I expected, and against the way the meta turned out, my deck ended up weak. I would definitely add Bloodchin Fanatics and get rid of the Pitiless Hordes if I was to run it again next time. That's the big change I would make. I would also probably run 2 more Brutal Horde Chiefs. I think being able to do loss of life damage to your opponent would have been huge in this meta, and I think it would have been huge, and I know at least swung 2 matches for me. I'm sorry there wasn't a video last week, but I was making the deck and prepping for states, and also had some other life stuff going on. I apologize, and I've got this video out, and I hope you enjoy this deck. Please like and subscribe. I'm at 8 subscribers. I'd like to get to 10 before the end of April. Hopefully that can happen. I'm looking forward to it. And thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe. And if you have any comments about this deck tech and where you think I went wrong, by all means, please feel free to subscribe. I'm looking forward to talking to you guys in the comments. Thank you very much for watching.